Parade. This costume that I'm working on today, I have all these frilly pieces that I'm adding on to these costumes. I am putting on some sleeves, so white sleeves for this over top part of the costume. This is for the New Year's Day parade. Basically, this center part is going to get ripped off and it's going to be all white, and it's going to reveal this red outfit that's underneath. So I'm creating the white part of the costume so that it can rip off and reveal the red fire costume that's underneath for the parade. So that's what I'm working on in sewing today. Adding some of these frilly pieces to the sleeves. I'm about to go over to the sewing machine and actually start hemming the sleeves. If you know, you know. I am always working on in order here. So I'm gonna try to keep my camera like here, or should I put it here so that you can see what I'm sewing as I'm sewing? But I'm working on the sleeves. Yeah, I feel like this might be a good angle so you can see what I'm sewing. Turn my machine to the other side for my straight stitch machine. I'm going to be doing the hems of the sleeves. So working on that. Maybe if I put it more this way, maybe this will be better for you guys to see what I'm sewing while I'm sewing. Yeah, I think that looks good. So right now I am threading the machine, and I already cut the sleeve patterns yesterday. It's 8 costumes, so it's 16 sleeves. Yesterday I was able to put the frilly pieces on the sleeves as part of the costume. So now I'm going to hem the sleeves one by one. I'll show you what the sleeves look like. Okay, so this is the sleeve, right? The sleeve has these frilly costumes that kind of cover the edge of the fire costume that's underneath. And I already put like these pieces on each sleeve, and now where the serge hem is, I'm just going to turn that under and roll hem that about a 1/2 inch for each sleeve piece. So that's what we're doing now. Feel free to ask me any questions or anything while I am sewing. And as I finish one, I'm just going to move right on to the next sleeve hem and just kind of go one by one with my machine, almost creating like a long line of sleeves. And then I'm going to clip in between each one to clip off the extra thread. And at the top and bottom of each stitch, I'm going to back stitch. And I'm just grabbing the sleeves from the other side as I continue on. And again, I'm only doing about a 1/2 inch. And I just grab the next sleeve piece. And then, like I said, once I get to the end of all the sleeves, then I'm going to cut in between the sleeve pieces in order to separate them, but at least then I won't have all that extra thread. Pretty much every year for the past couple years, I've had an order for the New Year's Eve parade, so it's been a good little Christmas end of the year order every year, because the people who go in the parade, they always need extra costumes or extra alterations on their costumes. So it's good for me as a seamstress and for my team to have that extra holiday income making stuff for the parade. And of course, we can also watch the parade on TV and see our costumes live in action performing. So that's always kind of cool too. And once I get to the end of one sleeve, then I grab another sleeve from the other side. And I'm just doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance at the hem of each sleeve. And then once I'm done this part, I'm actually going to attach it to the costumes. Okay. feel like if I was to be timed, this is good timing. We've only been on this live for 10 minutes and I'm already done most of the hems on all these sleeves. And we're doing 16. On to the next one. Okay. Okay. Almost done. We only have 2 sleeve patterns left. Right. To the next one. All right, and I believe this is the last one. Alright, so I'm just going in between each sleeve and clipping the thread that connects them. And this also alleviates me having extra threads at the top and bottom of each pattern, because it's all just clipped right in the center there. Are they individual or are they going to be one? They're individual sleeves. They're all sleeve patterns. So it's 16 sleeves because it's 8 costumes that I'm working on. And I just did the hem of each sleeve back to back, like in a row, in a line. And now I'm just clipping the end of the sleeve to separate them into their individual sleeves again. And then I'm going to put them, 2 by 2 onto each costume. So now I'm just separating the sleeve by their hemlines, if you can see. But that just made it quicker for me to be able to go through back to back and do each sleeve faster. When doing multiple costumes, it's just easy to create little small things to save time because there's so many little intricate pieces to do in one sitting. So I just try to do stuff back to back as I can. Okay, so that is, oops, look at that. That is all of our individual sleeves cut up. So now I'm gonna put these back onto my left side, and I like to work like from left to right. So off to this side is a dresser, and I put my patterns over there, and then I kind of pull one by one as I'm sewing different pieces. Okay, and then there's one more that was on this side, so now I just need to hem this serge. And then I'll pull the costume out so you can see how we're about to attach those sleeves. Alright, we're gonna clip the top and bottom of this one. This is our last one. And let me pull out the costumes. Oh, you said you got confused for a moment. Yeah, they're just all individual sleeve patterns. I'll show you. This is, I'm not far enough to show you, but this is what the bottom of the sleeve looks like with this little frail little ruffle on the top. And then this is the shoulder part of the sleeve. So when it goes on, it'll kind of look like this. It's a giant costume for the people. Hold on, let me show you again the costume. I don't know if you were here in the very beginning, but the costumes are these. So these costumes have like this white part where during the parade, these people in this particular band are going to be wearing all white, and then I'm working on the sleeves for these. So right now all of these are done, but they all need sleeves, and it kind of covers the red fire part of their costume. So this is actually, the white part is a rip away. So when they rip that off, this reveals a whole white and orange, I'm sorry, red and orange fire costume with these like fire sleeves and feathers and stuff. So I'm working on the sleeves to cover the red fire costume that will be underneath and revealed. So adding all these ruffle pieces onto the sleeves and some more onto the costume to kind of cover the red from showing in the center here. But yeah, so the sleeves is what I was working on just now. Actually, let me set this up kind of here so you can see me take out the costumes. is the fitting room area, but so let me take out the costume. So just going through this, and now you'll see me add um, the sleeve on this costume. You see, so they have these like super large sleeve openings. So we're attaching the sleeves onto these costumes, and then a ruffle, another ruffle down the center. So you'll see me attach the sleeves to these big sleeve holes right here, one by one. Oh, you said beautiful. So let me put this back towards the machine. Actually, I'll move that in a second. Girl, you're awesome. Thank you. Just look, working on costumes for the New Year's Day parade. Just another day. Another day in my store. Ugh. Okay. So, when I put on the sleeves, basically the way I'm going to put these on, let me see if I can move this a little bit closer. Um, the way I put on the sleeves, I'm going to start at the underarm kind of armhole part, and just ignore this number and lettering here. This is kind of how they know whose costume is whose at the parade. I guess the different dancers and band members get a number, so they just know that this is their costume by their number. So this actually stays on there because when they're moving and dancing and doing whatever in the parade, nobody's looking that deep. And they only wear these costumes once. They switch their costumes every year for the parade. So it doesn't have to be uh, that detailed to hide certain little things like that. It's more important that each individual person knows which costume is theirs. Okay, so should I close this first and then put it in on the other side? Maybe I'll do that. I'm gonna try this two different ways, but so moving the costume out the way for a second, I'm going to close this sleeve pattern first and then sew it in to the costume second. So let's see which way is easier. And remember, at the top and bottom of each stitch, you're going to back stitch. And for each stitch, you're also going to cut any extra threads as soon as you're done that stitch. You're going to cut your threads. All right, so now I'm putting my arm inside the sleeve and I'm turning it inside out. And now at that armhole, armpit seam, I'm going to match that up with the armpit seam of the costume, kind of like so, just like here. And I'm going to take a pin and pin that right at the seam in place. because I don't want that to move. Now, we're going to go through the neck. Hold on, where's the neck? There's a lot of frills on this costume. Is this right? Yeah, okay. So now I'm going to go here and turn this kind of inside out. So now this is the inside of the costume. And I'm going to pin at the shoulder seam as well. So I pinned at the armpit and now I'm pinning at the shoulder seam. So that as I go around the circumference of the armhole, it's lined up. All right. So now let's do that. Okay, now I'm just going over that armhole. Now, in order to make all these fit, there's a little and we're gonna top stitch or back stitch over the beginning and the end. We're going to clip away all of our threads. Make sure there's no straggling threads. Okay, and then we're going to take our pins out of the armhole part and the shoulder part. Now when we flip this to the other side, and I'll back this up so you can see maybe the full sleeve. Hopefully you can see the full sleeve. But so now here is our sleeve. If you see my hand here. So now our sleeve is intact on the costume. I don't know if you can see how poofy this costume is, but yeah, it just looks like a whole bunch of frills. Okay, but that looks good. Yeah. Perfect. So now, let me bring you in closer again, and we're going to sew the seam of the other sleeve. We're going to close that sleeve up and put those two ends together. And this part of the sleeve is literally this part of the sleeve. That's what I'm sewing together right now. And then I attach it to the armhole of the costume. So now that we have the sleeve together, now I'm going to align that with the armhole and turn that inside out. Clipping away my extra threads first. Is there a question? Let me see. My great grandmother would be so proud. Well, good. Thank you, I guess. From your great grandmother. You know what? A lot of people's grandmothers and mothers can sew, and it's so crazy. I became a seamstress, and literally nobody in my family sews. Like, not my mom, not my grandma, not my aunts. Like, I'm the only person who sews and like became a whole seamstress and fashion designer, and I don't even have that family history. I mean, maybe I don't know about my great grandmom or my great great grandmom. Like, maybe it's somewhere down the line, but for sure nobody that I know living in my family sews except for me. Okay, so now I'm going to the other sleeve, getting through all these ruffles here. Okay, and we're going to align up with our armpit seam first again. And we're going to pin that. So we're going to pin that section first, and then we're going to turn it inside out and pin at the shoulder. Cool. All right. So now we're pinning at the shoulder, putting a pin right there, and then again, starting from the armpit. Starting from the armpit seam, we're going to go around and sew the sleeve onto this costume. As you can see, or if you can see, my foot got a little, this is a foot on a sewing machine that got a little loose. So now I had to take my handy dandy screwdriver and tighten that up. So I can move on. Okay, so now that that's tight, we can start with our stitch down here. Right. Now I just took that pin out the bottom. And I always double stitch and back stitch. And we're gonna clip all our excess threads. Make sure the inside is nice and neat. Make sure that's even. Take the pin out the shoulder. Okay, and now this costume has the two sleeves on it. So now I'm gonna pick that up and go to another costume. So I'm gonna hang this up. Alright, but if you can see, this is what the full costume is looking like for now. So that's sleeves on number one. Let's take out our next one. Okay, alright, and let's add the sleeves on this one. I'm trying to adjust the camera. Alright. Pulling sleeves from over here. And for the sleeve parts, before we add them to the costume, we're doing this stitch first. And then we're going to sew the whole sleeve onto. Is it supposed to stay like that? We're doing this seam first, and then we're going to sew the whole sleeve onto the costume. Alright, now turning the sleeve inside out. Turning both sleeves inside out. pinning at the armpit first. Going to the shoulder, coming from the neckline. Pinning at the shoulder seam. And then we're going to fold, organize this in a way to where we are sewing the full sleeve on a circle. Okay, so now we have that sleeve on, and we're going to cut away our threads. Okay, so now this sleeve is on, and we're putting the sleeve on the other side. First thing we're going to do is find that armpit seam and line that up with the armpit seam of the sleeve and pin that down. So we just do this process over and over when we're attaching our sleeves. First we line up the armhole, then we're going to line up the shoulder. To the shoulder seam, then we're going to fold that inside out. Then we're going to pin that at the shoulder seam. Then we're going to start from the armpit seam, and we're going to start our stitch going around that circle armhole shape. I don't know if y'all can see up close while I'm sewing this. I'll move this to be here. Let's see if I can put this little holder phone tripod keeps wanting to bend the other way. I'm just doing doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Alright, and now I'm just clipping away those extra threads, taking my pins out. And it just so happened, luckily, that I ran out of bobbin thread at the very end of my stitch, so that's good. At least it didn't run out while I was sewing. So now I'm just going to replace that bobbin thread, like so. Thread the bobbin, put that on the top over here, push that over, and thread that bobbin. Alright, so now it's done threading. Clip that, push that to the left. I clip the top of that thread right there. Put that top back on and then re-thread the needle. And you follow the directions on your machine to thread your needle. Alright, but now that costume number 2 has its sleeve on, we are going to turn this around, hang this up, and grab costume number 3. Oops. Yeah, let's grab costume number 3. Just ignore my hair, by the way. I put these like twists in the front just to get my hair out my face while I was sewing. Matter of fact, now that I'm here, I can put my glasses on my head too to keep my hair out of my face. Let's pull this costume out. Oh my god, why is this one so tight? Should I put the camera this way? Is that too far back? That way you can see me. I need a bobby pin or something. Get my hair out my face. In fact, I think I just threw a bobby pin away yesterday too. I'm crazy. I always do that. I'm always throwing away extra junk. Okay. Let's put our sleeves together. And look, I'm already putting it on the wrong side. See? Rushing. Not good for you. Luckily, I didn't back stitch through that whole thing, just at the top. So now I can just reverse that and switch that out to the correct side. Okay, we're gonna grab our second sleeve. We're gonna sew up the inner arm seam, that seam right here, that's what we're sewing. Alright, and then we have both sleeves stitched. Now we're going to clip that joining stitch right there and clip the threads up here. Now we're doing the same thing that we've done for all the others. We're going to start at that armpit seam and align that with the armpit seam of the sleeve. We're turning it inside out. This is what that sleeve looks like that. And so we're going to line up our armpit seams with each other, and we're going to put a pin right there. And then at the shoulder, we're going to put another pin right there. Then we're going to turn this to the inside, and we're going to start at our armpit seam, and we're just going to sew the full circumference of the armhole around the arm, attaching the sleeve. sleeve is attached to the outfit here. And do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna start at that armpit seam. I'm gonna turn this sleeve inside out first. This is costume number 3. So I have 8 costumes in full to do this on, and then I have to add ruffles to the centerpiece of the costume to hide the big reveal part of the costume. For each one, I'm pinning to the armpit and pinning to the shoulder, and that's the only 2 places I'm putting the pins. For normal outfits like this, I would say pin all the way around. But for this costume, you don't need to do that because the sleeve hole is not small and circular at the top. The sleeve hole is more of a rectangle and it's gigantic. So you don't need as many pins in all those places. Okay. So now we have the sleeves on both sides off to costume number 4. How am I? Oh, how am I doing this here? Okay. Hang this one up. bottom of one sleeve, the other sleeve that is it's set. I'm starting that one. Excuse me. Okay, flipping the two sleeves apart, and then I'm going to turn both sleeves inside out, like so. And then I'm lining up the armpit seam with the armpit seam of the costume and pinning the armpit seams together. After that, I pin the shoulder seams. So, then I go through the neck to turn it inside out. And now that I have that inside out, I'm going to look for that pin at the armpit seam and just sew the circumference of the armhole. So because it's inside out, I can just go right around and sew the full circle. Take the pin out of the shoulder with our threads on this one side. Make sure you clip your threads so it looks nice and neat. And now this one has the sleeve on it. Hold on. Alright, so now the sleeve is on this side of the costume. And now we're sewing the sleeve on the other side of the costume. Again, we're gonna match up our armpit seams. So put seam to seam and pin that seam in place. Then we're gonna go over to our shoulder and we're gonna pin that in place. And then we are gonna turn it inside out from the neck. And we're going to start with our armpit seam and we're going to sew the circumference of the armhole. And I just take out the pins as I go. I'm kind of turning the costume around too as I go because the shape is kind of turning it over. Okay, and now we are finished the sleeves on costume number 4. Should I show you the costume, what it looks like with the sleeves? Let's see. Let's review. You said, okay, I'm back here to go eat lunch. Okay, Kimberly. I'm going to show you the costume, what it looks like with the sleeves. So once they, so this is, and I have to take that one off anyway, because obviously that was gonna, this one's gonna need sleeves. But either way, so basically during the parade, this is all white, they do the big reveal. Somebody's gonna come, I guess from the side, and kind of rip it off them with the Velcro. And the big reveal is gonna be these like fire costumes. Then the band does their drum and their dance and etc. Right? So, so let's see if with the sleeves on the new costumes, the cover, if it covers all this. Can y'all see? Thumb, thumbs up for not blanking yourself and actually having skills. Well, good luck with your channel. Well, thank you. I believe that is a compliment that I am not a whore. Okay. All right, so let's see if our costume for the parade if we're giving them the big reveal. So, all right. So Velcros at the back of the neck. The Velcros in the back and in the front. So when they start the parade, they will have this on. Now let's put the sleeves through the sleeves we just created and see if it hides the fire and everything. I think we did it, you guys. I think we're hiding the fire costume from underneath for their big reveal. Alright, so and I don't usually make costumes for parades, but you know, having the skill of being a seamstress comes in handy. Right now it's not really prom and wedding season, so it's good that I get these types of orders and I can still, you know, use my gift of sewing to kind of create these magic moments for people. So I'm looking forward to watching the parade and seeing these costumes kind of come to life. But all right, look. So I think the only thing that's going to show a little bit is the back of the collar of the red. But maybe they can even like kind of puff this up or maybe fit that higher. But look. Okay, so the costume, the white covers. The white does cover the red fire costume. Kim said I will be going back to watch the entire process. Okay, yeah, I'm going to upload this later on. I actually might stop this to work on the other 4 costumes and finish that a little bit more and then come back for the just to show you guys the final finish. But yeah, this is really the big reveal, right? So the white costume is what the band comes out. They start in this during the parade, and then somebody's gonna come from each side, rip off this. Let me practice rip. Yeah, they're gonna rip and pull it back, and then they're gonna reveal their fire costumes and finish off the parade in the fire costume. But yeah, I think this works. I think this looks good so far. And they'll have their big reveal moment for the parade. And maybe on the channel, I'll watch the parade and I'll put a video of like me making the costumes and their parade performance on New Year's Eve. Or is it New Year's Day? It might be New Year's Day, the morning of the parade. So, but yeah. But yeah, this does cover the full sleeve, so it looks good. Thank you guys for watching this first half of me making the costumes for the New Year's Eve or New Year's Day parade. I really don't know which one it is, but either way. Oh, Kim, you said that was very rude. Yeah, I mean, I think that was his version of the compliment, saying, what did he say? Thumbs up for not being a whore and using skills. I mean, you know, some people like to say stuff like that on lives. Either way, not the worst compliment, you know. But either way, I've seen worse on these lives, so that's not bad. Um, yeah. Oh, can y'all see the bottom of the costume? Oh, y'all can't even see the bottom. But yeah, so that's what that fully kind of looks like, and that fire costume reveal looks good, I think. It covers most of the fire costume except for the top of that collar, which is fine. I still have some more ruffles to add to this costume, and I believe I'm going to add sequins somewhere on the waistline too. But the costumes for the parade are coming out nice. Thank you guys for watching me sew the sleeves and put those together. I'll see you guys later. And I also have another order I'm working on too for a wedding, the mother of the groom. So maybe I'll do a live for that too. All right, you guys. Bye.